reason being is he has a almost exact same fight style as Aljamain, and he's very susceptible to the left hook, as you've seen in the past.
So it's going to be August 31st in Edmonton again for BKFC. Then everyone's like, it's unfortunate you can't grow hair. And I thought, of course I can grow hair.
Who should Leon fight next? And I personally say, who cares?
I'm sure you've heard the news, but not like this. Get ready to dive into what's happening in the world of MMA. We're your go-to spot for fight night predictions, fighter interviews, and all the behind-the-scenes action you crave. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Give it up for your host, the one and only Panda.
What's up, everybody? I am Daddy from PandaMMANews. And here we have Big Sloppy / Big Poppy. What is up, my buddy?
What is up, dude?
What is up? It's all right, dude. Don't take your cheeks out for that. We got more to talk about. This weekend, guys, we have UFC Abu Dhabi, which is a fat, stacked card. But that's not the only thing we have going on. We also have a special interview from Matt. I dare not say his last name because I cannot possibly pronounce it. But when you guys see him, you might recognize him. I can't throw the clip, and I wish I could because it's owned by BKFC. But he has a very viral knockout that I'm sure you've all have seen in the past. But yeah, so let's just run you guys through the card real quick. We'll shoot you guys our picks. We'll get to this interview, and then we'll get to current events, and we will fuck off out of your life real quick, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kicking off the main card, guys, we have Joel Alvarez versus Alves Brenner. I can't say that I know the names enough to actually know anything about these fucking fighters. So I can't really give you a pick on this. I'm going to give you Joel because he has the easiest name to pronounce here.
You're going based off names here. Well, so Joel's from Spain. So I'll say this. I'm surprised that they don't do something with him on the card with Ilia Topuria. I've heard Dana say it's really hard to book a card in Spain.
It's already supposedly booked. It's not going to happen in Spain. It's going to happen in real quick. I can pull up this real quick.
Well, regardless of where it's at, I know it's not going to be in Spain because they said since COVID, venues are just backed up like crazy. It's not even going to be possible for at least a couple of years.
Yeah, so it is not going to be in Spain at all. Okay, here we go. It is booked for Abu Dhabi. Actually, UFC 308, October 26th, a day after I commentate a Muay Thai fight. Son of a bitch.
Shit.
So yeah, that's supposedly where it's booked. Nothing's confirmed yet. I will give you guys a shout out at the end of the show.
Here's what I know about Joel Alverson. He's got an 85% chance that he's going to win by submission. He's got 17 wins by submission. He's got 3 wins via KO, 2 losses by knockout. So he's like one of those guys that he's all in. He's not trying to win by points. He's coming off a win against Mark. Dare I say, Diklese? Hey, it sounds like he's your brother. He sounds like your brother,
just
bro.
Just like me, he wants Diklese.
Less stick, bro. Less stick. Before that, he fought Arman Sarukian and he lost to ground and pound in the second round.
Hey, that's no shame though to lose to Arman Sarukian. I mean, the guy's fighting for the title next, so there's no shame in that. But that's going to bring us to our next fight, which is the first bout of names you guys will recognize on this fight card. We have the ever fantastic looking Mackenzie Dern versus Lupe Godinez.
Did you know Mackenzie Dern's a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
I absolutely did. That's her only acolyte.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm not following her as closely. I'm not following her as closely. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
your nose is up her ass, so I'm not surprised that you know that.
I wish my tongue was. I can tell you that much. But no, Mackenzie Dern, she's coming off a loss. Who was it? Amanda Lemos. Yeah, so 2 losses in a row.
Jessica Andrade.
Yeah, which Jessica Andrade is to be expected. But Amanda Lemos, everybody loses to that. Excuse my language. Never mind, I'm not gonna say it. We have too many we have too many big things coming up on here for me to ruin it with that. But Lupe Gomez, she's coming off a loss to your favorite woman fighter ever, dude. We're talking about Crazy Eyes from Mr. D's. We're talking about Verna. Good impression, dude. The screen froze right at that.
Hey, I'll say this, dude. Lupe is the champion of decisions. So if she's gonna win this thing, it's gonna be by decision. That's facts. We already know
Her
this.
submission. She submitted Elise Reed, but
She's
she
got
did beat
3
Baby
submissions.
Shark.
Calm down. She's dude. Let's be real. She's got 3 submissions.
She did lose. She did win over Baby Shark, Tabitha Ricky, which hurts my feelings because the things I want to do are not describable in podcasts. But anyways, moving forward, guys, we have the Battle of the Old Men. This will decide, I feel like, if Tony Ferguson has his last fight in the UFC. And,
he's fighting a guy who already retired once.
Well, he got retired by Kevin Holland, which is understandable. Kevin Holland is a giant welterweight. But yeah,
just ask MVP.
Tony Ferguson, his whole career has kind of been not his whole career, but his past 6 or 7 fights have been like that. And that's
he should have hung the hat
man.
up a couple years ago.
He should have hung the hat up like a rat's freaking pecker, dude. Just really up high and not hanging low at all.
like an eagle's pussy.
a very puffy eagle's pussy, but yes.
Shit.
Not much to say here. I think we all kind of have the same assumption, which is Michael Chiesa is going to do what Chiesa does. He's going to take him down. He's going to dry hump him to submission. Unless you're watching this Chiesa, then you're going to win by dominant fashion. Please come on.
It's going to be, he's going to take him to Chiesa Town.
What is that, Stockton? Stockton, California, where you can't walk to your car alone. 209, bitch. What's up? So that brings us to the next fight, which is one of the most exciting fights of the card. We have Marlon Chito Vieira versus Davison Figueiredo. Marlon Chito Vieira is coming off a loss. He's coming off a loss to Sean O'Malley. Davison Figueiredo, he is coming off of a win over Sorry, he's coming off a win over Cody Garbrandt. I forgot that even happened. That was
there we go.
Okay.
There we go. That's what it was. Yeah. So we're talking about Cody Garbrandt here. The level of fighters they fought on their last fights totally different. Chito Vera is handling Cody Garbrandt in today's world. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but I think I have Davison in this, dude. Davison's a fucking monster. Like Davison, he moved up from 125 where he fucked up so many people, and he beat Brandon John. I'm waiting for Big Slapper to pop in here with a name. I guess I'll just click on his fucking name and I'll find out myself. Don't worry about it, guys.
What do you want from me? What do you want from me, pal?
But he's coming off a 4 title fight versus
Rob Font,
Brandon Moreno.
Brandon
Moreno. That was the time. That's the person he fought the most. But thanks for your input out of nowhere. Fun fact: Davison Figueiredo was scheduled to fight Manuel Kopp, but that did not happen. He ended up moving up to bantamweight to fight Rob Font, who he beat. So I have Davison Figueiredo here, and the reason being is this is a 3-round fight. Chito Vera, just off past experience, is a slow starter. He really doesn't kick into gear until round 3. And Davison Figueiredo, he comes out and devastates motherfuckers. So I just feel like he's gonna, if it's not by a finish, it will be by complete domination. I feel like within the 3 rounds, within the 15 minutes. What do you think, Big Slop?
This is where we disagree. See, I got Marlon Chito Vera here. And although his stand-up wasn't comparable to Sean O'Malley, I think he's dominant against anybody else in that division. I think his stand-up,
not in 3 rounds.
You really think Figueiredo is gonna actually have the power to put Marlon Vera out?
He had the power to put fucking Rob Font down. Yeah, Rob Font is arguably the best boxer in that division. Let's not forget, Rafont finished on Adrian Yanez with a.
We're not talking about Cheeto Vera here.
No, we're talking about we're talking about Adrian Yanez, who's arguably a better boxer than Cheeto Vera.
No, I think Cheeto Vera not only has that dog in him, but I think you're right in one part. I think that I think that his opponent comes out hot and heavy, and he tries to take him out in that first round. But I think what he's going to find is that Cheeto Vera's got too strong of a chin. He's not going to sleep, and it's gonna wear on the gas tank of Figueiredo. And I think it favors Marlon in the second round or third round. He's going to finish him.
Okay, well, agree to disagree, guys. You know, I have fucking Figueiredo in that fight. He has Marlon Cheeto Vera, so we will find out this upcoming Saturday. Main card starts at 12 p.m. PST. Prelims start at 9 a.m. PST. Figure it the fuck out yourself how that works out in your time domain. But that brings us to our co-main event, and I feel like this is the one where we both agree. We have Sharaputin Magomedov versus Michel. Dare I not even try to pronounce his last name?
There's no need to.
I have Sharaputin in this fight. We're talking about a one-eyed Muay Thai pirate, dude. He's sailed the 7 seas, and he's here to fucking kick legs and take your treasure.
You look at his Tapology, and it's nothing but green, and we all love the green. So we all love ourselves some Shara. That's for
unless
damn
you're
sure.
part of ice. If you're part of ice, you don't love the green card. But
yeah, not much to talk about here. Shara's going to get it done. He's too slick on his feet. He's 13-0. He's polished. He's going to be somebody we talk about as a championship contender here pretty soon.
Yeah, I agree. Even though he can't fight in the U.S., supposedly, but he is starring in a movie coming out. And you know what? We're on the subject of Sharaputin Magomedov. Let's real quick dive into this. I don't know if you saw the video. I'm not going to try looking it up here because I'm not prepared for it. But there was a video going around online where he assaulted some random guy in public. He punched him in the face. The guy fell to the ground, and then he stomped his fucking head in, and he just took off.
Sure did.
Yeah,
I'm going to say the guy deserved it.
I'm going to say that the guy might be a Russian hitman, but I'm not 100% positive on that. But Sharaputin, if you see this, we love you, you one-eyed pirate bastard. Please come on to our show. But that leads us into our main event. We have Corey Sandman-Hagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Corey Sandhagen, beautiful stand-up, beautiful ground game against Cheeto Vera. Umar Nurmagomedov on juice. He's part of the Eagle camp. They're all on juice. I guess this really dictates down to who's really better on a stand-up because they both have solid ground game. I'm personally rooting for Corey Sandhagen because I'd love to see O'Malley versus Sandhagen. And I'm pretty sure this is a title eliminator.
I would agree with that. Umar's, I think, going to have the edge when it comes to grappling, but I think Corey Sandhagen's too slick on his feet. I think he's got beautiful takedown defense, and that's all you need when you're a stand-up artist like Corey, to keep him at distance, to keep him on his feet, to keep him where he's going to have his strengths. I actually don't see Corey losing this fight. I really don't. I always thought Corey Sandhagen would be a champion in that division. So I would love to see it play out. If O'Malley gets it done in the Sphere, then it's going to be one of the dopest fights ever if we see Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen. Two guys with just absolutely polished, beautiful, just mesmerizing stand-up fighting competition. And yeah, I really hope it plays out that way because that's what the fans want. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, and I agree. Honestly, I don't have the video lined up here for the current events, but I'll just run us through it real quick. There's a video that came out from when O'Malley and Merab faced off out front of the Sphere. Merab was calling out O'Malley's coach, Tim Welch, who is much bigger than the bantamweight division. And O'Malley was just sitting there like, hey, man, if you get a problem, fucking tell him to his face. And he's like, oh, yeah, I fuck him up in street fight. He's like, try it, dude. Try it. There's a reason why there's weight classes. I want to see you try it.
Yeah, legit. He's crazy for that.
No, I personally, early prediction, I think O'Malley gets it done against Merab. The reason being is he has almost the exact same fight style as Aljamain, and he's very susceptible to the left hook, as you've seen in the past fights with who's the guy that knocked out freaking Aljamain? Forgot his name. But anyways, he fought him on the same card that Volkanovski fought Brian Ortega. Can't remember his name for the life of me right now, but he's been dropped several times from the left hook because his guard.
He knocked out Sterling.
Yeah, he knocked out Sterling. So I guess this could be solved by a simple Aljamain Sterling record search, which I'll tell you right now. UFC stats. I'm gonna feel like an idiot when I see this name. Marlon Morales. Yeah, I feel like a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so I was there live when this fight went down. Merab versus Marlon Morales. That was the same card as Volkanovski versus Ortega and Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler 2. Marlon fucked up Merab in the first part, but Marlon didn't have the cardio or really the killer instinct to follow up after he rocked him. So Merab ended up getting that fight. But I feel like O'Malley's got that killer instinct to where, especially if Merab tries to stand with him, dude, he lands that left hook. I just see Merab getting fucking put down, dude.
That would be Merab's biggest mistake. That would be like Bobby Green shooting in on fucking Patty Pimblett.
Something we saw.
A terrible mistake, a tragedy. It should have never happened. It's the kind of shit that makes people go. It's the kind of stuff that makes people go, was that rigged? That's just so not their style. So
exactly.
Yeah. No, Merab's going to go humping legs and going for a 5-round fight, trying to drown him. Just honestly, like Bilal did. And it can be exciting. It's not that it can't be exciting. But
I just don't see him doing it. I see him trying to prove a point.
I think Sean O'Malley's in the same respect as Corey Sanding, and I think he's got great takedown defense. And a lot of people underestimate that, his range control. You know, and Merab's he's gonna come in sprinting. He might catch the same move Chito Vera caught, except I don't think he's got the chin to take it. He definitely doesn't. He's definitely got a bigger nose.
Dude, I'll tell you what, dude. When it comes to partying, trying to snowboard during the summer, I wish I had a nose like Merab and Bilal, but I do not. I have a little bitch nose. I can't keep up with John Jones and all those fellas. But I will tell you that I definitely have Sean O'Malley in that fight. And I have Corey Sandhagen in this fight. I think that equals out to them fighting Sean O'Malley's next title defense, and I would love to see it. I think that is a giant fight for the UFC, possibly one of the biggest fights they can. Well, actually, not one of, possibly the biggest fight they can make in the bantamweight division.
It'll definitely be a stand-up spectacle. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I say that with my chest, 100%.
And you got a lot of chest, so I'm gonna believe you on that one.
Dude, I have all the chest, brother.
The women are jealous.
The women are jealous. They wish they could get titty fuck like this guy, but instead I'm out here doing the titty fucking. But what we do have, though, guys, is a special interview with Matthew, which I'm not going to attempt to say his last name. He'll tell you in the interview coming up. We interviewed him this past Saturday. The man's a badass. The man, real quick, let me pull up his when he's fighting. I was just messaging him
highlight
earlier.
reel in BKFC. Just
yep.
And dare I say, a really sweet set of hair.
Sweet set of hair, sweet set of tattoos, dude. Like, he grew that sweet set of hair to cover those sweet tattoos,
which probably cost him thousands and a lot of pain. But he signed up for BKFC, so he can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. But let's see. Okay, I thought this was gonna be a lot easier to find, guy. I know his fight's coming up here very short, very short.
The cat got a hold of the keyboard on his last name.
In 4 weeks. So we're talking in probably August 30th. I'm assuming that would be my guess.
That's fair.
So we're riding with Matt. We're hoping Matt does the best. But let's go ahead and cut on to that interview. Hope you guys enjoy. If you guys don't, you can go fuck yourself, because this is a channel where we interview the most high level fighters. And if you don't enjoy these interviews, then you can go ahead and take your mother and go do the naughty business with her while Ian is in the corner watching the action.
You'd probably prefer to go to like Wolf Lodge and like go build a bear or something and be like PC babies and stuff
build
like
a
that.
cuck.
You know what I mean? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
cut to the interview. That's what everybody wants to see.
Yep. All right, here's the interview, guys.
Whoa, dude, I thought that grinder was broke.
Not anymore. Thanks to Avalos Co., I was able to get the parts I need in order to repair my grinder so my business can go on as usual.
What else do they sell parts for?
Well, funny you should ask. They sell parts for your broken tools, sex toys, garden equipment, even parts for your computer so you can get back to the games of Halo with your virgin friends.
Okay, tell me more. Where do I purchase?
You can see what they have available exclusively at avalis-co.com. That's AVLIS-CO.com. Check them out to get your tools to entertain those certain family jewels back in working order today. All right, guys, we are joined. Say your last name for me, please. I don't want to butcher it.
Socholotiuk.
I'm going to say Matt because there's no way I can say
Yeah,
that.
perfect.
We are
No
joined
problem.
here by Matt, a badass BKFC fighter. We were just looking at some of your highlights on your Instagram page, dude. You are a fucking monster.
Yeah, thanks. I feel like that sport suits my style of boxing perfectly.
Yeah, dude. It's insane. One of the first questions I wanted to ask you, because it looks like you have a MMA background too.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. So I was just kind of curious, what's the difference in preparation, for like an MMA fight or a boxing fight versus BKFC where you have no gloves, included in the defense and everything?
So with MMA, I feel like you're focusing on so many different aspects of the game: the wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, things like that. You can't narrow in on one thing. But with boxing just being one singular sport and BKFC, I can really just focus all my time on just getting all those rounds in with just focusing on boxing. And then obviously using the small gloves to try to simulate that motion, bare knuckle, because you want to have your hands free, because I like to use them a lot to block and to manipulate the hands and grab.
Okay. Yeah, I've always wondered about that because, like last weekend when we saw Jake Paul versus Mike Perry, it seemed like, well, for one, he just didn't fight how he does in BKFC, but
Right.
it just seems like there's a lot more preparation that goes into the defensive side. I've done Muay Thai for 7 years, and I know it's as easy as just put my hands up to guard, hooks and whatnot coming at your way. But I feel like boxing or bare knuckle, there's a lot more, like, you got to be a lot tighter and everything.
The shots are coming in much obviously there's no glove to protect, so you got to make sure even when you are blocking that your hand is squeezed, because having no glove on my hand, when I go to block, when they hit your hand, it can also break your hand. So you got to make sure you're squeezing. Where in boxing, my hands are more open and I'm catching, but with bare knuckle, I got to squeeze and squeeze more. Just different.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, majority of the hand breaks come from when the guy is blocking the shot. He's blocking and his hand is relaxed, and they snap the back of his hand.
Yeah, that sounds brutal. I've never broken my hand, but
Yeah, me either.
sounds terrible. Have you ever considered doing like the game bred bare knuckle MMA? Because you have an MMA background.
Right. So I would 100% love to. My background is mostly with wrestling. So when I started boxing, I kind of made it like a dirty boxing wrestling kind of technique. But I'd be for sure open to fighting MMA with no gloves as well. 100%.
So you started this whole journey wrestling?
Yeah, so I wrestled in high school a bit. I was a football player originally. The seasons kind of correspond together, so I wasn't able to wrestle as much as I wanted to. And then after football ran its course, I decided to pursue MMA, and football to wrestling is a very easy transition because I'm already used to running full speed into people. So I just did it with my hands, and wrestling just came much more naturally than any other martial art.
Wait, Matt, we're talking about real football here, like American style.
American football, correct, yeah.
Got the helmets and pads on. We're running full speed.
Oh yeah,
dude, we lived the same. We lived the same life then, man. Because I was always it was this effed up balance of like half the year you're trying to put weight on so you can crush people with your full speed and force. The other half of the year I'm wrestling, so I'm cutting weight, and it's just miserable, and you're missing food again.
Exactly. So. Yeah.
Hey, we just had Jesse Arnett on. Do you guys train it all together?
No, I don't know Jesse and train with him. No.
Oh, okay. He's a fellow Canadian. I think he fights at.
He's fighting in Samurai MMA next.
Oh, in Montreal.
From Montreal.
Yeah. I think he's
Yeah.
from Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
Big Cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had him on Tuesday.
Oh, fantastic.
Super cool freaking guy, dude. He's got
Yeah.
a badass movie coming out.
Oh, really?
But
Wow.
yeah,
Good
but
for
we're
him.
not here to talk about Jesse. We're here to talk about Matt.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. Do you already have your next fight booked?
So my fight is booked. I don't think well, we signed the contract and everything. So it's going to be August 31st in Edmonton again for BKFC. And it was tough trying to find an opponent, but now we have one, and we're about 5 weeks out now from that fight.
Are you able to make any, say any names, or is it still?
I can't say his name yet because I haven't got confirmation that he signed the contract. But on my end, it's signed, and my head is for August 31st.
You're ready for that smoke. Hey, speaking of your head, man, I gotta ask this because I saw your head got you tatted your head up full on, and then since then you've grown that hair out. So how does that happen?
Yeah, you know what? I've always had a shaved head and a shaved face, and then everyone's like, it's unfortunate you can't grow hair. And I thought, of course I can grow hair. I just choose, I always think of like, what if The Rock had hair? It wouldn't look the same. So I decided I'm just going to grow my hair, and now I covered those beautiful tattoos, but I know they're there.
Yeah. I mean, that was my thought, because I know tattoos aren't cheap, and the pain of having your skull tatted, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
After you go through that, you want to keep that covered up. But I'm like, you know what? But the hair looks good too, man. So you're rocking it.
Yeah, I guess when I'm old and gray in the old folks' home, I'll have my beautiful head of tattoos. But until then, I'm gonna keep rocking the long hair.
Shit, yeah. Man. I'm already bald, so maybe I need to get some skull tattoos.
100%.
I got arm tattoos, but nothing to counteract my balding ass. Shoot, man. So far you've had one BKFC fight. It didn't look like you struggled very much. It looked relatively easy, at least from the clips I saw. I'm just curious, the preparation that went into Adam De Freitas.
De Freitas.
Yeah. Is that kind of the same preparation that goes into every BKFC camp, or does it kind of change up a little bit based on the opponent?
Well, when I fought Adam, he was southpaw, and this guy that I'm fighting now, I do not believe is southpaw. So anytime you have a southpaw, they're different. They throw different angles. They're, when you're left-handed, everyone you fight is right-handed. So they always have that advantage, right? So luckily in my camp, I was able to find lots of southpaws. But yeah, so now fighting for the BKFC and kind of getting an idea what it feels like to be in the ring, because previous to that, my last MMA fight was 7 years before that. So I took a long layoff. I was afraid about ring rust and everything, but I've never felt more comfortable in my life inside the ring, and the preparation remains the same, and I can control what I do. And then it's kind of, when things come at me, I've trained so many different ways against so many different people that I have something unlocked that I can maybe use, or I don't want to be surprised. So I bring everyone to camp and I say, throw whatever you want at me and let's figure it out.
Yeah, I didn't even pick that up, man. Yeah, your last fight before that was 2017.
Yeah, 7 years ago. And crazy.
7 years ago. You know what? Sometimes, because I took a big layoff before I decided to go into a jiu-jitsu tournament, and it's weird how sometimes time is a good thing, mentally, and at least for me, I'm speaking for myself here, but it gave me a chance to really think of the concept and the technique a little bit more, that sometimes when you get caught in training repetition, you get stuck on those same ways and you can't progress through it. Or sometimes a little time off to just think through some things, you realize why the technique is the way it is.
100%. I feel like when you take that time away, you can see things from like a different point of view, almost as like a coach watching their students. And I feel like you mature as you go forward, realizing you don't need to use aggression and strength. And I want to use more timing and accuracy more than power and speed. Because as you get older, your speed diminishes, your power diminishes. But if you can already be there before the guy is going to be there, you don't have to do anything. Your timing is better, your accuracy is better. And with BKFC, obviously, or bare knuckle, there's no gloves. So you don't have to hit the guy very hard. You just got to hit him in the right spot.
Right.
Yeah. Before I ask this next question, I know when I looked at your Tapology, I saw you were born in Waterford. We're in Stockton, California. We have a Waterford right around the corner. So
right,
we were like,
of course.
damn, we should have just had him come into the studio. But my question is, though, when you're preparing for a BKFC fight, Are you hitting like pads and stuff bare knuckle to get used to that distance, or are you still wearing your typical like 16-ounce gloves while you hit pads?
Right. So when I'm hitting pads, I tend to use like the old school like oven mitts almost, like the old ones Muhammad Ali would use when he hit the bag, things like that. But I found that that glove still doesn't let my hands like fingers open and breathe. So I like to hit them with those practice MMA gloves, the 6-ounce ones. They have a bigger padding on top. I like those,
Yeah, like
but
the grappling gloves.
exactly. But then again, my coach is always complaining that I hit too hard, and that they hurt his hands. So I always go back to regular gloves, and it's the application is the same. I'm still punching, and sometimes you want to save those knuckles. I do knuckle conditioning as well, but I want to get used to punching properly and accuracy. And so as long as I turn my hands over, I mean, the glove doesn't change the application of me trying to punch you in the face.
Yeah, a lot of fighters we're talking to, I'm noticing this commonality. There's a trend with elite fighters. It's sometimes less is more when you're training. We just had on
Josiah Harrell.
Josiah, and then before that we had Beck on, and they both talked about, sometimes their training regimen isn't even actually more physical. It's more on the mental side of it, going through the motions and talking through the different aspects and the different steps. And when you were talking about, your hands and stuff like that, that kind of made me realize that as you get into those elite levels, as you get more mature into your fighting career, it's more or less on the physical training part of it, is more so on like the mental development and kind of seeing it through and thinking through the different scenarios, it seems like.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm always open to new techniques and new philosophies and things like that, but everything should kind of have that baseline. And I'm just trying to, piece it all together. And I want to make sure that I'm also, if you're not healthy during training camp, there's no fight. So as much as I want to practice with, no gloves and things like that, I got to take care of my hands. It takes one bad injury to the hand, and now you're on the sideline and can't showcase your skills.
Yeah. This is normally his question for the Canadians, but I'll ask it because it's my turn. Where's the best poutine?
You know what? I originally grew up, like, obviously in Waterford, Ontario, so I'm new to Montreal. 10 years. But my girlfriend loves the orange julep, which is this giant orange right off the highway. And I guess the best poutine is there. I don't particularly normally eat it, but maybe after this fight, I'll have some.
Go celebrate a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
What catches me off guard is the damn tomato chips, dude. Those things are low key.
Oh yeah,
delicious.
They're unbelievable. Yeah. It's hard to stay in shape.
I tell everybody back home about it. They don't believe me. I'm like, you really just got to try it. I was in denial. I ate one chip. I'm like, okay. I ate 2 chips. Next thing I know, the bag's gone. I'm like, I guess they're fucking good because I just ate the entire bag in 5 minutes.
Ketchup chips are no joke. They're delicious.
Cool. Well, hey man, we don't want to keep you too long. We know you're super busy. So you're fighting August 31st. Obviously, you can't say the opponent. Is there any last message you want to give out? And also different social medias. We'll tag your Instagram in this.
Perfect. No, I'm just excited to showcase my skills, and I never felt more comfortable than how I feel inside fighting bare knuckle. I feel like it's a sport that was made for me. I feel like I can incorporate my wrestling with the hand ties and in the grappling, which I wasn't able to showcase my last fight because the guy being a jiu-jitsu black belt, as soon as I got close, he grabbed me. So I was able to fight from a distance, and he was much bigger than I was. And that fight was at 170. Now we're fighting at 165. So hopefully, but I feel good fighting on the outside, on the inside. I just love the fight. That's it.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, guys, if you guys want to check him out, like I said, I will tag his Instagram in the editing portion so you guys can tune in. After we end this call, Matt, if you could just stay on for a second, that way your site can upload.
Of course.
But until then, man, we look forward to your fight. And, hopefully after your fight, we can get you back on.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You the man.
Thanks, man.
Whoa, dude. Where'd you get that totally throbular shirt from?
Funny you should ask. I got it from PandaMMANews merch store. We have all sorts of merch to choose from, including our brand new Live, Laugh, Throb shirt from episode 4. We have dog collars, dog beds, limited edition shirts, hats, coffee mugs, and more. So what are you waiting for? Come throb with us at PandaMMANews.com. Just click the merch tab and check out all our great product.
Throbbing is known to cause health issues for both male and females above the age of 40. So do not use PandaMMAnews.com without prior doctor consent. Please throb responsibly.
All right, guys, that was Matthew. I will not attempt to pronounce that last name, but make sure you guys tune into his BKFC fight. I believe it's August 30th. If I'm wrong, you guys will see it in the description on this. Big Sloppy, just FY, is heading to Alaska, so we are trying to cram this in real quick, so I don't have time to pull up all this information that we need. So we are just cramming this in. So we'll just get on to the current events. We already covered the UFC card coming up this upcoming weekend. So I guess we'll just start with this. This suggestion comes from MMA Homies on Twitter. I believe they have a YouTube podcast also. So make sure you check them out. But this is their suggestion. Makayev. So a little bit of light has been shined on the whole Makayev situation, where he didn't get kicked out of the UFC because he had a boring fight. He didn't get kicked out of the UFC because he sucker punched Cape. He got kicked out of the UFC because he was talking to PFL behind the scenes, trying to get an offer so he can use that offer as leverage against the UFC. That's why Dana White made the comment, PFL can have an undefeated fighter.
Oh, interesting. Well, that makes a lot of sense, but there was also the rumor that they were telling him, like, hey, dude, if you go out and wrestle heavy on this fight and you don't bring a spectacle, we don't care if you win or lose, you're done. Like, that's not. Yeah, but
Dana White debunked that.
Which, yeah, I mean, when you look at guys like Khabib, I mean, it really doesn't make a ton of sense. But I mean, yeah, if you're just gonna bring people to the ground and hold them and not try to advance the fight, that's kind of like, it's even if it's not true, for me,
down, guy.
even if it's not true, I feel like I would be aligned with that. I'm grappling heavy. I love grappling, but I like to see it done in a good way where you're advancing the fight to a finish or a ground.
Yeah, I agree.
But don't just sit there and fucking hold somebody.
The only finish I know about is at the Bunny Ranch. But anyways, that moves us to our next one. That moves us into Sean Strickland selling his Harley. And by the way, the next couple ones I bring up are also by MMA Homie on X/Twitter and YouTube. So yeah, I guess Sean Strickland sold his Harley. There's not much to talk about there other than he sold his Harley. So I guess we'll move on to the next.
I know why. It's because remember when I was telling you he was ripping those wheelies and he lost control and got some bumps and bruises? Maybe he realized, or maybe the UFC had a talk with him like, hey, dude, you're too high up in the rankings.
You already got injured one time that way.
Yeah. Let's not repeat history here. You know what I mean? There's too much to lose at this point. He's got a dog now in the swimming pool. You know what I mean? Ditch the bike.
Yeah. So that leads us into the next one, which is who should Tom Aspinall fight next? Well, there's only 2 names on that list on who he should fight next. Either A, for the undisputed, which is John Jones, and that all depends on John Jones if he decides to man up and stop talking about fighting a prior sleepy Stipe, super old Stipe, and move on to fighting the actual guy who deserves the title, which is Tom Aspinall, which is very unlikely. It is more likely for Tom Aspinall to fight this next person I'm going to list, which is Alex Poatan Pereira. I favor Tom in that matchup. Honestly, Pierre, he's got that left hook, but Tom, I think, is even on the feet too fast, too slick. Hits, at that heavyweight class, you don't have to hit the hardest. You just have to be able to hit, dude. It takes 8 pounds of pressure to knock someone out.
Well, and I think that's why Alex is so great, because he has that heavyweight power, but he's in a lighter division.
Yeah, but Tom's faster.
So I don't know. I wouldn't say that, but what I will say is Tom keeps his chin up and his head up, and it's incredible. Like Curtis Blades tagged him a couple times, He's got a phenomenal chin, but you can't bank on that for your career. You get in the ring with somebody like Alex and you keep your head up and you rush him like that and your chin up forward. Well, you're leaving yourself open for something that didn't need to happen. So unless he's going to become more disciplined and put the hands up on somebody like him, I don't know, man. Even though he's the smaller guy, he's clearly got that power. It's registered power. You know what I mean?
Alex is the same thing, though. Alex is hands down, chin up all the time.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That's why it would be interesting to see that one. I'm not saying that I think Alex would win, but I think it would be a lot more interesting than people think. But I also think that it would end in the first round. Whoever wins, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of them's going to finish that in the first round. It's not going to be this long, drawn out bout. Somebody's getting finished.
Yeah, I agree.
100% finish rate, like Richard.
Dude, I always finish. But that brings us to the next topic that MMA homie has suggested, which is who should Leon fight next? And I personally say, who cares? Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck who he fights next.
You know what would be a really good one? We talk about the guy all the fucking time, Ian Gary. Why? Because they got that past
Michael
drama.
Venom Page.
They got that past. That would be a fire one too. So those are the two names
English
that I would
fighters.
throw. Those are the two names I'd throw out there because Michael Venom Page, obviously they're two English fighters, but also Ian Gary was in his camp and got kicked out, and they kind of have that history to him. It already kind of has that fight built up. That would be interesting.
Yeah, but I mean at the same time, also, who gives a fuck? But we have a. This is going to be the last thing we talk about on here, guys. We have a big fight card coming up in the boxing world. Terrence Crawford is fighting. Pitbull Cruz is fighting, and so is Andy Ruiz. That is a fat stat card. I do not have the exact card in front of me. That comes from real quick, just so I can give him proper. That comes from Alex8310_. Just give him the proper credit to the people who suggested these questions. Yeah.
Can I answer that one really quickly for us?
Go ahead.
Hey guys, we don't really dive into the world of boxing unless it has somebody that's MMA involved. So you're asking the wrong people. Just throwing it out there. We're not really involved in that.
With just FYI, I was the one. We're part of a group chat of other MMA podcasts, and I asked them for current topics. So I'm just giving the credit that is due because they suggested these questions.
I appreciate the question.
That is,
I'm just not qualified for that.
Yeah, I'm not qualified either. I only know Terrence Crawford and Andy Ruiz out of who you suggested. But that is all we have for current events. This guy has to go to Alaska. He's got some Eskimos to finger. So we will go ahead and end it here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed the boxing match. Make sure you tune in this Saturday. I'm still not going to say the name because even though I got a time and everything, I'm still not 100% positive. I don't want to psych anyone out. Yeah, well, that's the closest hint you'll get. That fucking dumb face.
Take it or leave it. But don't be cucking our channel, though.
Don't be cucking us. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. Subscribe to us on TikTok, Panda MMA News. Subscribe to us on X, Panda MMA News. Subscribe to us on Instagram, Panda MMA News 1. Don't forget, motherfucker, we're coming for that name, bitch. I don't care who you are. That's our name. You sell MMA merch. You don't give news. Go fuck your mother. But
we give the news, baby.
We give the news. But enjoy fingering the fish out there in Alaska, my friend. And we will we'll catch you on Saturday, huh? For the hopefully big interview. Worst case scenario, Jackie said that she will she's down to pick up on Saturday. So
all right,
cool. Guys. Make sure you don't finger fuck your moms too hard. Later.